Let me tell you a bit about what's going on in my life right now. I've been hesitant to try to learn Lancer, the RPG, mostly because I don't have the physical book. It's been very difficult to get a hold of. They did just announce recently a reprint that's going to be coming out next year, and I've got those pre-ordered. It's fine. And uh, when I mentioned that, like, I'm really interested in Lancer, but I can't learn it or play it because the book isn't, like, I can't get a hold of it. And they're like, oh, well, the rules are free online. And yeah, they are. And I downloaded them, like, as soon as I found out about that. But I've been holding off for a couple of months now on actually, like, going through and learning them, just because the way that I process information and the way that my attention span works, it's very difficult for me to learn a game, particularly one as deep and complicated as Lancer is, from a PDF. Is much better for me to actually have a physical book that I can read. I don't know, for some reason it works better for me. But I've been going through it lately, just sort of like a little bit at a time, maybe 20, 30 minutes a day, just like reading the rules, reading, mech stats and like gear stat blocks. And like every time I run into something I don't know what it means, I go look it up. And so I'm learning Lancer. And hot damn, that looks like a fun game. I want to play it so badly. Oh my gosh, I'm just thrilled about this game existing. I'd love to play it. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. There's a possibility that I will be running a campaign of it when the books come out, when the book is reprinted next year. It's a possibility. I don't know what's going to be going on in terms of like my schedule, because I'm already running games and I got more games that are like sort of queued up. So I may not have the time or the attention span to be able to run a campaign of that as early as next year. And I'd really like to just play in it, honestly. So I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. The point that I'm getting at is that this game is very exciting just to look at. Like, I'm reading through the rules. Like, this is really cool. This is really cool. This is really cool. These options are really cool. Oh man, I'm so excited about these like really strongly defined archetypes that these different mechs can unlock along with their gear. And how can this gear be combined with different frames? These and like the rules for AI. Oh, that's really cool. You can use AI to sort of like run your mech independently, but sometimes under certain circumstances it might go into cascade and start to get crazy. That's really cool. These are systems and mechanics that I really want to interact with. I'm very excited to try these out someday, maybe eventually, hypothetically. And that's not something that happens all the time when I'm reading about games. It happens with a lot of my favorite games. When I was first reading Blades in the Dark, which is my favorite RPG, I got just really excited about the different playbook abilities on the different playbooks, and like how gear works, and how stress allows you to resist complications from poor rolls, and all the different mechanics of the game really get me excited, and it starts like inspiring story ideas and character ideas, and like I can really envision these cool moments. That doesn't happen when I read a lot of RPGs. A lot of the, let's call them like medium crunch RPGs, which would include D&D 5th edition and all the various games that are based on, that like sprung out from D&D. So you've got, Pathfinder, you've got, there was, back in 3rd edition, there was like 100 different RPGs that were all based on the D20 engine. Basically, the D20 engine, both in 3rd edition and in 5th, failed to inspire. Because, and I'm going to say because, but I don't actually know that this is the reason, but this is what intuitively it feels like. Because there is an emphasis on trying to make things balanced, even though 3rd edition and 5th edition have not been remotely balanced at any point in their life. But like, you can't have this thing, it's too cool, so like you have to wait until a much higher level to be able to get there. And that's a weird bit of design, actually. Like, in the context of modern RPG design, don't worry, I'm in my own car. No one cares. In terms of like modern RPG design, like that doesn't happen. Like, why would you forego or delay the cool thing when you can just have the cool thing? You know, if it's too powerful, you can give it a cost. You can make it, limited use. You can, create requirements for it to be able to be used. There's lots of ways to limit things if they are too powerful. But to say that you don't get the cool thing until much later, or in some cases you never get a cool thing at all. But that's a thing that happens all the time in D&D and in D&D inspired, like directly inspired games. And I think that is sort of, I don't know if you want to call that a litmus test, but like that seems like I'm thinking about adopting that as the standard for like what games I choose to play. I have to be able to read the game and become inspired or excited by the rules or the content or the character options or something. Something has to excite me just reading the rules. Like before I ever get to the tabletop, I need to be thrilled by something in the game. Preferably a lot of things in the game, either parts of the core mechanics, character options, ideas for builds, like really strong character archetypes that are going to be fun and interesting. And if a game doesn't do that, I'm probably just going to pass on it. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty short video today. The headline is that games should be fun and exciting. RPGs especially. I think I would hold RPGs to a higher standard than I would hold other tabletop games. A lot of the fun of a board game or a card game may be hidden somewhere in the rules text. Like, it might have more to do with like character interaction. And that's a thing that you can do in RPGs as well. But that's sort of baseline, isn't it? Like, you don't need rules to interact with the other players at the table. And you're going to be interacting with other players at the table in largely the same way, no matter what RPG you're playing. Genre dependent, of course. But an RPG needs to give you reasons to play the tropes that it is intending for you to play. It needs to give you mechanical support for the kinds of characters that are meant to be in this world. And those need to be fun and exciting. I'm trying to think of other words for it, but like exciting is the key here. Like, I need to be looking at the rules and say, oh, that's really cool. Oh my gosh, I want to try that. Because when reading through Lancer, I have 3 or 4 distinct, completely incompatible ideas for characters. Like, I can't do all of them, but I would love to do all of them, maybe individually or one at a time. I think it has retraining rules that would allow you to basically take the same piloting different mechs, and be able to do these different builds, kind of all with the same pilot, but just not all at once. Like, if I'm not thrilled reading an RPG's rules, it's probably not that great of an RPG, is what I'm getting at. The rules themselves need to be inspiring and enticing. And if they're not, I think I've got such limited time in my life these days. I can't be spending it on RPGs that don't do that.